That's my time. Can you hear me okay?
What's up, fellas? Yeah.
Everybody always hears you okay.
I was just checking, man. You know, sometimes I can't hear myself. But
there you go. What's going on, everybody? It's Thursday, another week.
What's up?
What's up?
What's out? What's up? What's in?
Well, what's not in is the engine on Al's son's car. He's trying to get that picked up on the side of the road right now. Maybe we'll get like an on-the-scene report from him. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe so.
I told him to dial in when he can.
Yeah, Al in the streets. I don't know if we want to see that, though. He'll be driving down the road, cursing at people. I think it's bad when he's in his office. Wait till you get him in the car. It'd be pretty good.
Yeah. I saw Al's like an old man's penis. You never know when it's going to pop up.
No good reason.
That's about as filthy as you'll ever hear me get on the podcast. And I had to do it in honor of our hero being gone.
So, Ty, Cobb.
Yes, sir.
How was vacation?
Vacation was great.
You're back.
I am back. I'm back. I had a great time. Actually, I got a picture to show you here.
Well, it looks like you got lots of suntans while you're out. You got
I was going to say, you're back. Dude. You're back. You almost like closer to my brother every day.
Trying to be.
Damn.
You know.
You got that army.
As close to you as I can.
Yeah.
But I was down in Costa Rica with my boy Grant Garrison, the two-time defending Project Zero Got Your Six Culture Golf Champion from 2023 and 2022 and 2023. This is he and I right there we're about 50 feet from the beach here, and we're at the last night's dinner. And
man, that man
wore a tiger.
Bro, he's got to be badass, bro. He's got on a leopard suit with flip flops on.
You know what?
Badass.
That is exactly what I said when I saw that. I'm like, only that dude could pull off leopard print and flip flops. And I was like, but we could see the water, so flip flops are okay.
Right.
I was like, all right.
Yeah. I don't give a damn what you think at his finest.
He's got a T-shirt on under it too, like an old band T-shirt. Right. He's like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
It was a great time. It was lots of fun. He actually got to play golf again. I didn't go with him this time. I was on a riverboat excursion looking at alligators. So
I bet you wish you were
crocodiles.
Did you make you some boots?
No. But Sarah did get good video of a crocodile coming. You know, it was on the bank, so the boat guy got right up next to the bank, and the crocodile came out right after. You know, got a good video. I should have got that. I forgot to though.
Yeah. So you know what we say when we see y'all do that kind of shit, right?
That's white people shit.
Yeah, that's white people shit, man. That's WPS right there.
Well,
in the boat. And there's a big ass alligator there, and you're like, "Hey, we try to pull up close to it so we can take a picture of it." That's WPS, man. We don't do that.
Well, it was the Costa Rican dude that pulled the fucking boat that close. It was me that looked at it. But I tell you what, I'm from Kentucky. I spent a lot of time in Florida, a lot of time in New Mexico, a lot of time in Louisiana, and now I'm a Texan. So I feel that I'm probably qualified to handle a crocodile, caiman, or alligator in the sizes that they had to offer in Costa Rica.
Did you have your big hook with the line in it so you could throw
I was ready.
And then they were ready to watch you like bang it and pull it in the boat, and then you would have been like talking all crazy like swamp people.
All that stuff you're saying right now, I was ready.
Yeah, let's go.
Willis said I will wrestle that. No,
he wouldn't.
A couple things I don't wrestle with. Alligators is one of them.
It'd probably have to be a stuffed animal version of a crocodile, maybe.
I wouldn't do it, man. I'm good with the alligator stuff and things like that. But this is a Triple Threat Vet podcast. What's going on, everybody? I'm your man, DJ Real T. In the building today is my man, Ty Cobb, and my man, Matt Johnson's in the building. My man, Al Hero, is out without a doubt, but he might pop in. He may not. We don't know if he does. We will be here waiting. We're going to have another good episode today, ladies and gentlemen. We are glad that you are here with us. We are glad that you tuned back in. And because you are here, that means that you got your ass up and did what you had to do. You had to be there, and you're here, and we appreciate you wherever you are, whatever platform you are listening or watching us on. We just want to give a special shout from our heart to yours. Say we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you, and welcome in this Thursday. All right. Yes, sir. I just had to get out that way.
So, anything interesting from you, Scott, this week? You do anything interesting? Any excursions? I mean, they're probably not as cool as like taking pictures that looked fake all week, but I mean,
let me see what I did this week, bro.
Yeah, what was that video of you that you sent me today of you on a balcony, like panning?
Oh,
What was that?
that was older, man.
Okay.
That was older. I was actually in Dominican Republic when that one was out.
Okay, I was gonna say that was pretty nice.
Yeah, nice, man. So yeah, just the normal stuff. Damn, man, I do so much between me, you, Ty, and Al. There's so much stuff we do. Like if you tell me to rewind my week, unless you remind me of something, I might forget, bro. Because I'm always into something. Like I saw you today. I was looking through your thing, and you were out there with what was that? My mind is messed up. What Fahey? You were out
to Camp Hope.
Camp Hope. That's what it was. Camp Hope.
PTSD Foundation of America.
Yeah,
we got Camp Hope folks.
We got invited to go take a tour over there and go see all their facilities and what they're doing, see where they started, see where they built to, see how they're helping people. We met a lot of great people over there. I mean, it was just overall, it was a good time. I mean, to go see all of the stuff that they do. I mean, they're taking, it was just very humbling to see. Like when you take the tour with those guys, they tell you that they never say no, right? They can't say yes all the time, but they never say no. But it's amazing. They bring people in and they help them get back into some sort of normalcy. They help them get through their stuff. And, it's for, anybody that's had that combat related stress and they need to figure out how to get through it. Like it's a great program. But the biggest thing that amazed me about what they do is that you can leave whenever you want. Like you don't have to stay.
You don't have to stay there. So there's no pressure to stay.
You can leave. You don't have to stay. You don't have to be here. You can do what you have to do. But the biggest key to that, is like they give you the rules, right? It's like boot camp without the restriction of, you can't get out the gate. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like they put you through that where, you can leave or come back. And the other thing that was super interesting to me is they have a lot of people that leave, right? Because they're just not ready to go through that. And then they're like, when they come back, we're like, yeah, come on, we'll take you.
Wow.
So it's one of those places where if you fail
no judgment.
No judgment, but they know that you may fail out, but they know you're going to come back, and they just want to be there to help you. And it's a place that it's very positive and motivating, and it's cool. We got to take the tour. It was great, man. It was such a good time. It was just humbling to see it because when you go tour, like they're all there, right? The people that are there, but a lot of them, they were doing classes and stuff, so you didn't really see a lot of the guys, but as you see them walking around, how everybody interacts, how they talk to each other, it's a very positive place. Wow. It's in a great location. It's right off the back. I mean, it's amazing. They need some help. We're going to look into helping them. There's a lot of people that help them, but it's definitely a good program, man. They'll take people in, and people are in that program 6-7 months, and it helps them come out on the other side, and it's a good deal, man.
The benefit is the people who come out on the other side. That's the goal, is getting people to the other side for sure. Yeah, that's dope, man. Well, I appreciate
it was a good time. We had a lot of fun touring it, getting to see it. I'm just in here just looking at a couple things real quick because I did want to just shout out a couple people that we met. You don't want to get them wrong.
Yeah. Well, while you're doing that, man, I have some people I got still going on right now. So there are people here doing some flooring, right? So they're putting in some new stuff on the floor. So just kind of been doing that, man. Watch babysitting, kind of working at my what is it? Managerial. I would never put that on my resume because I mess it up and spell it wrong. But yeah, doing some of that HR stuff at the house. Hey man, what you gonna do with that? How you cutting that? You sure you know what you're doing? Yeah, that kind of stuff. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. No, well, who you got to shut out, brother?
You got to give me a minute. I'm trying to learn how to use this thing.
But Ty, I'm just so super impressed with your darkness, brother. Man, you got a little, you know what I'm saying? You've been sun-kissed, man. You've been sun-kissed for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Damn. Hey, put those away. No guns on the show, brother. No guns. You can't bring
brandishing a firearm.
Yeah, man. We don't have no weapons allowed.
Yeah, there we go. So for sure. So I knew I had the name of the company, or I just didn't want to get it wrong. So we met a couple of military veterans that own Last Frontier Roofing and Construction here in Katy. they do roofing and construction, right? So they fix roofs, they do construction. They're both military veterans. They came out. We got to have lunch with them afterwards, Becky and I, and they're out there to just serve the community, right? It was just really cool to meet people that, they're not out there like advertising so they can make more money and do more work, right? They're out there. It was really great, like what Becky and I do out there to just help.
Yeah.
There's no expectation on the back end. So, I mean, if you're in Houston and you need some help, you need roofing, you need anything in that arena, restoration, roofing is definitely a company you need to check out because they, veteran owned.
Yep.
They do great work, and they will definitely take care of you.
Hey, Restoration Roofing, they were at the golf thing we were at, right? Was that them?
I don't think so.
No.
No,
Who was the roofing that was there?
Mitchell Roofing was at our
Mitchell, that's what it is. Shouts out to my people at Mitchell.
Yep.
I remember.
Yeah, every time when I see y'all social media, I'll see something that y'all go out to do. I see something that the Johnsons go out to do. I love seeing Tim Finnan doing his art stuff. And then when we had breakfast with the Mitchell Roofing guy, and they were just all smiles, wanting to help veterans. So I love what we do as a collective. And also, I mean, I love that the podcast is doing well as well. I got an announcement to make there later. We'll do it later after we come back from break.
Okay.
But about another organization that the podcast is working with. So
cool. Well, what we got in store for today, man? I mean, it's Thursday. I know you, Ty. I know you, Matt. I know Al. And I know you guys seem to know all these super dope, great people. I know a couple from time to time, but you guys seem to find all the cool people. And I know we have somebody cool with us today. I don't know if y'all want.
Yeah, so today we have a U.S. Army veteran, airborne infantry guy, and his name is Stephen Russell, and he's also an inventor of a comic. So I'll let him tell the story. But as you all know, I'm kind of into all that kind of stuff. I like the Marvel universe. I like comics, and I have liked them since I was a kid. So I think I saw him on David's podcast or the Tip of the Spear or something. Mm-hmm. And I really vibed with him, and I wanted to bring him on, tell his story a little bit here. And so without further ado, let's bring on Stephen Russell.
Stephen Russell in the building. Yeah.
Listen, Blake,
what's up?
You and Steven either live or vacation at the same house, dude.
Really?
Yeah, look, he's like, you let him go to your house today.
He's in your
yeah. Hey, man, I remember that. I got a piano look something like that right there. Hey, man, where he downstairs and didn't tell me.
Snuck in through the back.
That's all right, brother. There should be some cold beer in the refrigerator just on that side of that piano over there, man.
There you go.
You know, if you need a tasty beverage.
Welcome, Stephen. Thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate you joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, what we like to do is just jump right in it when we come on. The first thing we like to do is just allow you to introduce yourself to everybody, maybe give them a little bit of background about you, kind of where you grew up, where you're from, and then kind of lead into what got you to join the military in the first place, and then we'll talk a little bit about that after.
Yeah, don't leave out none of the dirty details, bro. We want to know all about you, brother.
Absolutely. So I guess my story starts. I was born in Dallas, Texas. So my dad always told me, he was like, son, you don't have to be a Cowboys fan. You get to be one.
Wow.
And from there, I moved on.
This interview's already starting off for me.
Yeah.
We'll let you get by with that.
Yeah.
Wait, but here's the question. What is your favorite team?
It's not the Cowboys.
Oh, it is the Cowboys. Yeah. I'm ride or die. Yeah.
That's child abuse, bro. That's child abuse.
Could you email Terrell Owens and tell him to show up to celebrity events? I'm just asking for a friend.
Oh, my goodness.
My childhood memories are, back in the heyday, all that. Yeah. Troy Aikman, Moose Johnson, Emmitt Smith, that's my Cowboys.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. That's when they were actually the Cowboys.
That's right. Devil defense, all that. Yeah.
I mean, everybody kind of, when they had that America's team thing, that's what it came from, because no lie, even if you had your own team, people kind of like low-key hated on the Cowboys because they were that good. I'm not even going to lie. They were back then. But go ahead. I don't want to do your story, but you said something about the Cowboys, and we just almost everybody's like, huh?
I know. Oh yeah. I live it. But yeah, so I was born in Dallas, and then eventually I moved to Mississippi. I lived there for 10 years in Gaucher, right on the Gulf Coast. That was pretty cool. Yeah, right next to Pascagoula. If you sneeze, you'll go straight through Gaucher. You won't even realize it.
Hoorah, CBs. That's what me and our CBs. We know where Gulfport and Gaucher and Ocean Springs and all them places are.
Yeah.
Wool Market. Yeah. All that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
And then we ended up moving back to Houston, Texas during my high school, years. And from there, that's where I joined the military. So I think I was either a sophomore or a junior in high school when 9/11 happened. And that kind of threw everybody for a loop. And I was probably like the least likely person to join the military. I was always the theater kid, the art kid, doing choir, that kind of stuff. And, after that happened and just kind of trying to figure stuff out, hit my, 18th birthday, it was like, hey, this is something I think I want to do. I want to challenge myself. There's this kind of like call to adventure thing too going on. Everybody's talking about joining the military, recruiters running all over, your high school and all that. It's just like, I can tell this is something big. I don't know what it is, but I want to be a part of it. And in like to do that challenge, I didn't just want to join the military and do a job. I wanted to jump both feet in and, challenge myself. So I said, screw it, man. I'm going to go frontline soldier, infantry and go that way. And, I did that, signed up, and my only stipulation when talking to the recruiters was I was like, I just want to get as far away from Texas as possible. Just take me anywhere. I want to go see stuff. And he was like, oh yeah, we'll lock it in. We'll put Korea in your contract. So my first duty station was Korea. I went there.
Hey, you're better than some people in Texas that joined the Air Force. I got a friend that was like, I'm joining the Air Force and I just need to get out of Texas. They were like, no problem. Boot camp, Lackland.
Yeah.
AIT, Lackland.
Yep.
Stationed, Lackland. I was like, you got pretty far from Texas, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I joined up. I went to Korea and, got in a little bit of trouble there. Got my first Article 15. And
everybody does.
Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. In fact, that's part of the in brief that you get when you go to Korea. You fly in, they get off the plane, and they ask everybody, they're like, okay, how many E5 sergeants do we have here? They all raise their hand. And they're like, okay, how many of you guys want to make your E6 before you leave Korea? And they all raise their hand. They go, okay, I'm going to tell you the fastest way to leave Korea E6 is to come here E7.
Damn.
I mean, they're not lying, dude. There's a lot of ways to get in trouble when you go to Korea, man. I did too. Yep. It's just the way it's made up.
Absolutely.
We were fortunate in the B's though. I was in Chinhae and then I was in Pohang. So like both of those places are super small. They're super secluded. But like when we would go pick up like construction material at like Pusan and Tagu in the bases. Oh my God. There's markets and there's bars. Like it's crazy there.
All right, look, stop, bro. Pause real fast. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I don't know where my mind is. What's the first place that you said you went, Matt? What was the name of it? Something Chin.
I'm not repeating that.
No, say it. I just need to hear it.
Chinhae.
All right. Yeah. What was the second one?
Pohang, buddy.
Pohang. What was the third one?
Pusan, Tagu.
All of those places.
I can't tell you why the Korean people name their towns like that. Maybe it's so when we say them, you get to laugh. That's why they did that.
Yeah, that sounds like the place you can get in trouble.
But I feel you, man. Like I started out in a LURS D unit in Uijeonbu at Camp Esseons, and I was fine there. It was crazy. There was all kinds of we had a whole bunch of like Rangers and Special Forces and guys like that. So it was utter madness. But it's a closed environment, small place. You can get away with a ton of shit there. If you like. If you're not paying attention to curfew or something like that, and you come in, the gate guard probably belongs to your unit, and he's definitely not going to like upset your first sergeant by trying to tell somebody, hey, somebody's coming in late or something like that. So yeah, you can get away with a few things.
That was back then. Today, you're busted, dude.
Oh yeah, you're done.
Oh yeah,
like they're turning all the floodlights on at the gate. Like you're getting it if you do that today.
Well, that's what happened. I ended up going to Camp Casey because they they took down Lurs D and took our unit away, and then they just threw everybody to the wind. We go to Camp Casey, and after we did a 30-day gunnery, I was like, man, I've been out in the field for 30 days. I'm going to go to Seoul. I've been here for, almost a year. I don't need a battle buddy. I left out, on the weekend. And then they had a full recall, and I wasn't there. So it was failure to report. And
damn.
Yeah.
Where were you, Steven?
I was in Seoul, man. I was having a few drinks.
He was in New York City in South Korea. That's where he was
at. Yeah. So, yeah. So they got me. They got me good. I went down. I was actually right about to get pinned my E4. I went straight on down to E1. Got my 30 days. Yeah.
Army don't mess around, dude.
Man, yeah.
Especially in Korea, man.
Yeah.
I hear horror stories about Korea. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I moved on from that and went over to Fort Hood. That was my next duty station, and was up there with the Cav, and we were deploying to Iraq. And I was kind of still being a knucklehead, kind of in my feelings, getting all butthurt about my Article 15, all this kind of stuff, and I hadn't gotten all the trouble out of me. But luckily, I was in a platoon called the Troublemakers, and we were called the Troublemakers because everyone in the platoon had at least one Article 15.
Right.
So I was in good company. And then, me and a bunch of knucklehead dudes went out and we were shooting airsoft rifles on I-35. And I happened to shoot one, and it flew into a car across 4 lanes of traffic and hit some dude in the neck. And we got pulled over.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, we got pulled over, and, the cops wrote up a report and all that. That hit up on the blotter. They let it go, but the Army didn't. So I got to do my next 45-45 in Iraq, stirring flaming shit.
Ooh. Damn, you did the brig time in Iraq, bro?
Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Goodness.
And after that, I was kind of like, you know what? Maybe I want to get my head straight. Like,
right.
Yeah. But how much of a kick in the balls is that? Like, yeah, you're going to get in trouble, but we're going to put you on restriction after we get to Iraq.
Right.
You just need to make sure you make it there. You're
absolutely.
Like, all right, I guess so.
It's gracious. Yeah, I was going to ask you, man, after you get busted down, man, like, how do you motivate yourself to keep going? At that point, I'm ready to go home, man. I think I'm done.
Yeah. I was pretty down at first, and I was kind of like, hey, I built this thing up, and I'm, doing good in the military. I was looking at getting promoted early, the 18 months with the specialist thing and all that. And I was like, things are going right. And now I just got this huge setback. But at the time I was like, okay, my time in Korea is almost done. I only had a, few months left. And I was like, this is a good chance to have like a restart, have like a refresh. And it really was, I got there with Fort Hood, and like I said, initially kind of like still stumbling a little bit, catching my feet. But after you get to Iraq and, you're making all these bonds and you're living through all these insane experiences, all of a sudden, like all that stuff just slips away. And then now you're starting to like grow into who you really are, grow up and figure these things out.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what did you do in the Army? What was your MOS? What did you?
So my I have two active duty stints. The first was 04 to 08, and in that I was just straight infantry, and I wanted to do the airborne thing, but it was like, hey, you go straight from Korea to Fort Hood to Iraq, and just didn't have the time, or the space to do it. So it was like, all right, but that's when I went through my deployment. We went on one of those nice long 1.5 year deployments where it was supposed to be a year, and then halfway through they were like, nope, you're getting extended 6 months while you're in country, and yeah. And they wait like a good 6 months into the thing too to tell you like, hey, do you think you're halfway done? Not no more. Yeah. We had all these guys on stop loss and all kinds of other things, and it just tore some people up. They're just shit. It's like, hey man, this is how it is. And again, you're finding that little ray of sunshine. I'm like, hey, that means when I get back, I only have 6 months left in the Army. Cool.
Right. Yeah.
Fine
you
by
always find
me.
the positive in all the bad stuff. You're like, yeah, but at least I'm getting like, that's how they sell you the next 6 months too, right? They're like,
yeah,
guys, bad news. We got to stay 6 more months. Good news though, tax free. You're good to go. You're going to make a lot of money. It'll be in the bank when you get back. Don't worry about it. Like,
well, we always lived by the rule. It was like, imagine the absolute worst thing that can happen today, and if that doesn't happen, you're already doing better than what you first started out with. So you know,
that's a good way to look at stuff.
It can only go up from there. You know, so. But yeah, you know, it was a rough deployment. It was, you know, pretty insane because we were there 2006, right before the surge kicked off, and then you know, then it started in. Then they had the Civil War kick off in Iraq, and it was just everything was insane every day. And you know, we lost a lot of good guys, and it was just something that I kind of move through, and you don't really have that much time to like process what's going on and all these kind of things. And it's not even a sense of like survival. You're just kind of like this existing, you know, in the moment every single day.
Yeah.
And I've told people before, it's like, it's almost weird because it's, even though you're under this like highly structured environment in the military, you know, you have to abide by all these rules and regulations and things like that. It was still almost like the most free time in my life that I've ever had. Because, you know, you're free of all this like societal constructs that we put around ourselves. You don't have to worry about, you know, your bills back home, or, you know, your parents are fighting with their uncle and this and that. And, you know, you're just existing. You wake up every day, you do the mission.
Yeah,
and then,
focus on the mission.
Yeah.
That's probably why a lot of times when you come back from deployment, either A, you want to go back as fast as you can because you're like, I need to get back over there, or B, why a lot of people struggle to kind of reinsert, right? Because they're like, what do you mean there's rules over here? The rules? What, you know, because it's, you got to get the job done, right? And so you're moving over there.
It's not even like laws, you know, like city ordinances or, you know, speeding and stuff like that. It's not even that. It's more like these social rules that we set up, like, oh, you can't behave this certain way in a social setting, or you can't do like this. And you just got back, you know, from being a stone cold killer, man. You know, you were just getting blown up, you're shooting people, you're doing crazy stuff. And now you're like, yes, sir. No, sir. You know, I'll take care of that right now, sir. You know, like, it's insane.
It's crazy because like in that, you're fighting life and death every day, right? But then people who don't deal with that, as in the regular world, they're dealing with, like you said, you know, your mom and sister are fighting, and this person doesn't like that person, and this president don't like this one, and this is going on over here, and these people, all this other loud noise and stuff that's going on, right? But when we're out there, we're just focused on the mission. Like, hey, bro, you have to do everything that you need to do this way so people can stay alive. If you don't, people are going to die. So I need you to be focused. I need you here, and you can just pretty much focus on that. But you know, you don't have time to be worrying about who's mad at who and who owes somebody money and who did this, and you don't have time for all that. It's crazy how we understand that, and it is almost more comfortable to be in that setting than it is in all this other crazy nonsense that's out here.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the biggest drama you got to worry about is like who's losing the spades game tonight, you know?
Right. Hey, Danielle, how you doing? I see Danielle.
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah, you know,
So where were you at where did you deploy to when you went over to Iraq?
Yeah, so we deployed to the Diyala province. We were in Bakuba, which is 30 miles northeast of Baghdad, and it's nestled like right between the Tigris and Euphrates. And that's actually where one of my good friends, he ended up dying. He drowned in the Tigris River from a Bradley, you know, overturning. And that area was considered the capital of Al-Qaeda. You know, we got there, and there was some confusion as to when, you know, al-Zakari got captured and all that kind of stuff and who was responsible, but it had basically, we're coming right on the tail of al-Zakari getting upended from Al-Qaeda. And as soon as he did, the entire region just like lit off like a bomb, you know, and you had no rules, no laws. You know, they didn't have an economy going over there. They hadn't had a working, you know, economy in like 10 years. And it was pure anarchy and chaos while we were there.
Damn.
So when you finished, did you do one deployment? Did more than one deployment?
Yeah, I just did that one long deployment.
Right. And so you just did one tour, and then you were like, all right, I had enough, got to go.
I was really close because, like you're talking about, you know, you have that deployment fever, and you're just like, I want to get back to it. And I got to thank my squad leader at the time, Sergeant Haas, because we were in Kuwait, and they had like, while you're there, you kind of have some like downtime after you pack up all your stuff and you're waiting for the flights and whatnot. And I see this like shed that they've got, and it's the Special Forces shed and all that. And I was like looking at it, and they got a sign up there, and they're like, hey, if you extend your deployment and you stay here, we'll throw you a contract, give you a huge bonus, and then you'll get to go Special Forces once you're done. And I was like looking at that, and I was like, "Ooh, man, that sounds pretty good," like,
right.
and I was still kind of like had that anxiety and fear about going back, and like, how am I going to integrate? What kind of world am I coming back to? And on top of that, you figure I had gone straight Oconus to almost straight Oconus, so I'd been out of the States for almost 4 years, Yeah. So I started walking that way, and he stopped me, and he's like, "No." He's like, you just need to go back. You need to at least, chill a little bit and like see. And if you feel that way, after we get back to Fort Hood, make that decision there, but don't do it here.
Yeah.
And he was right. Once I got back and I kind of like decompressed and chilled a little bit and got to see some family and friends and all that, I was like, okay, well, maybe it's time to, make a different decision and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
I really like how with the different backgrounds, I always enjoyed getting to know a lot of my soldiers' backstory of like what they did before, because myself, I was kind of a jock. And so I remember talking to you before. I have a very inquisitive side and very like, I guess, theater artistic side to me as well. So I really like talking to you, and I like the way you tell the story of kind of how you segue back into creating the comic. But we'll get into that right after the break, if you don't mind taking us out, DJ.
All right. Well, hey, we're in here with my man, Steven, a true American hero. You're in here with the Triple Threat Vet podcast. I'm your man, DJ World T. In the building today, we got my man, Ty Cobb, along with my man, Matt Johnson. I know that our hero's around in spirit somewhere, but he's not here at the moment. But we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. So if you're here, stay tuned. If you just tuned in, stay with us, but we'll be right back after these few messages.
Gear up in style wearing Got Your Six apparel. Every purchase makes a difference. It's more than just clothing, it's a statement of gratitude. Upgrade without breaking the bank. Discover cost-effective, high-quality clothing made in the USA. Each shirt is handcrafted by our team in the great state of Texas and shipped for free to your front door. Got Your Six is where quality meets purpose. We're a small veteran-owned business that takes pride in the mission and the value of our products. Join us in growing a community, supporting our heroes, veterans, and first responders by wearing a custom design.
I thought you'd never ask.
Visit sameflagsameoath.com and use the code TRIPLETHREAT for 10% off. Follow us on all social media platforms for any upcoming releases or events, and you can reach out to us with questions anytime. We are here to support our brothers and sisters.
Hey everybody, Scott Bryson here with Veteran Mortgage Solution. Today's instant intel is around one of the most important reasons to buy a house. Now, everybody loves them a new truck, but as soon as you drive that new truck off the lot, you lose 10% in value. You buy a $50,000 truck, that's $5,000. Real estate's different. As soon as you buy it, it goes up in value. And with today's appreciation rates, if you bought a $200,000 house 10 years ago, it'd be worth at least $350,000 today. So give me a call and let me show you how easy it can be. You've got to own real estate in order to provide financial security for you and your family. It's worth fighting for.
Very different than your parents, because your parents don't want you to fail and they don't want you to be uncomfortable. They do everything in their power to make sure you don't feel the pain that they felt growing up. And it's probably the biggest mistake, because they're going to fail. I tell them I love you enough to allow you to fail. I do. I love you enough to allow you to hurt. I love you enough for you to have a bad game or bad month or even a bad season. Because if you're trying to get to the next level, you're going to have those days. And if you can't operate in that space, then you're not going to be at that next level. And that's not just basketball, that's just anything. You're going to have bad days that you're going to have to just fight through, because the competition is waiting. They're waiting for you to fail so they can scoop in and take your raise or take your space. And that's what I try to prepare our players for.
Yep, absolutely. Don Stickley, Hall of Famer, college basketball.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
My man Steven's very interesting, brother. I would tell you that.
I like the fact that he's got a different perspective. Like his type of story and his type of like people. Like I'm going to be real stereotypical here, but most of the time you see the infantry people that have stories like him and have experienced things and been in for more than just a minute. You don't see them with the background that he has. You know, you see them that are the jocks and stuff like that. And I just love hearing all the different things that people were into before, and then to see how he eased back into doing comic books. It's a cool story. So, yeah. Anyway, you want to bring him back on?
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, let's bring him back on. Welcome back, Stephen Russell.
There he is. Were you worried, Stephen? You were like, oh shit.
Oh no. Yeah.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, usually like we are not, we would probably have not known each other in high school, but like, just because now we use our brain, man, I think you're cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? And I realize that we, as kids and even as young soldiers, we stereotype the shit out of each other, and we don't look for that value of what people bring to the battlefield, as well as, you know, what people bring to friendships. So I really appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's just one of those things. Once you get in these environments and you start seeing people from all over the country, all over even the world, and you're all coming together, and you just hear these different perspectives from people, and you start opening up, you know, you're just like, holy crap, like there's a whole world in here, in a culture that I haven't had access to, and now I get to do that.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, shoot, man, how many people get that opportunity? So, you know, I tried to take as much advantage of it as I could. Every time I went to a new country, you know, through the military, I've been to about 30 different countries nowadays. I've lived in 5 different ones. Been to about 2/3 of the U.S. So, you know, I always love doing that, traveling and seeing those different perspectives from different people.
Nice. So I know we're going to go into where you're at today now, right? So my question for you would be, to start that off, what got you? I know that you said in high school, arts and choir and theater and doing all that things that are in a space where you're very creative. But did you continue doing stuff like that while you were in? Was that like a side thing that you kept to do to kind of keep it there? Or did you start to do a lot of the like illustration and do things and do that while you were in so that you could start it out? Or did you get really heavy back into it once you got out?
Yeah. So it's definitely like getting heavy once I got out. I kind of had this like compartmentalization where it's like I put that part of myself aside, because, you know, what I was doing was so different than what I was used to. It was kind of like I needed to focus all my energy on being a soldier and trying to do that. You know, it's like I'm the kid. I had never fired a gun before, and I'm showing up. You know, I'm going to be infantry. Next thing I know, I'm a machine gunner. You know, so it's like, yeah, you know, I put a lot of myself into that, and you know, I was creative in my own way. I draw like little doodles, and on my gunner shield in Iraq, I had like a big old combat monkey until a sergeant major saw it and told me to take it down, you know, those kind of things. and, you know, oh, there's a sand pit. Yeah, I'll go do that. You know, we'll draw a sandbox and have fun in that way, but it wasn't anything serious. And so it was after my second active duty tour that I did, because I did another one from 2012 to 2017. And I was just kind of like really lost, you know, in my soul, like personally. And I was like, I've done these things. I've, you know, been to all these different places. I've experienced all these, you know, different varying things of hardship, having a family, everything. And there still feels like there's something missing. And then I was like, well, you know, maybe I should look back and start reconnecting with some of who I used to be. And, you know, that was always art. So I just pulled up some old Bob Ross videos and I started painting and getting back into it. And then I was just like, oh yeah, you know, I really miss this part of myself. And then it started turning into like, well, maybe I can take this and turn this into an outlet and use that and get some sort of like catharsis from all these things.
That's a big word.
Yeah. It's like,
I can't say that.
That breaking out, you know, you have all these things like bottled up. You have all these things inside. And I'm like, in my heart, you know, I'm really a storyteller. I'm really like in there. I like to communicate with people. It's one of the things that I'm most thankful that, you know, PTSD and all that didn't take from me is, you know, because if it made me a shut-in and took away my extrovertedness, I don't know what I'd do with myself. But, you know, I was able to be resilient enough to hold on to that. And so I'm comfortable in a crowd. I'm comfortable talking to people, you know, and then that kind of like put a different onus on me talking to, you know, old battle buddies and stuff like that. And they're like, hey man, like a lot of us, we can't tell our story. A lot of us, you know, we don't know how to, or, you know, we've got this or that. If you can do it, you know, you need to be the person to do it, you know, because we think what we went through was important and, you know, it was meaningful. And it was like, you know, like, hey. So I started getting back into it, started just putting pen to paper. And, you know, really it's funny because it's like that military mindset almost still drags back in. And it's like, well, if I want to do this, how am I going to start doing it? Oh, okay. I'm going to start just running drills. I'm going to start doing anatomy draws. I'm going to start, you know, doing this kind of stuff and spend this time towards it. And then kind of like, let me have a plan. Let me see how I progress and go from there. Yeah. And then once I started getting comfortable, then I was like, all right, let's start actually putting this down and trying to figure out a story. Let's try to start figuring all this stuff out and actually build something.
Yeah. That's cool. Man, you look, the way my mind works, I got to just do it because it just happened just now, right? So the way my mind works like this, right? He's talking about this. And all I see is I can't draw that good, but I just came up with this brilliant idea. I could be DJ World T, the combat DJ, right? So in the comic book, you got this DJ that battles his enemies with tracks that he plays, right? So like you see the enemy across the thing and it's like you play some Tupac, me against the world, whatever. And like the enemy start dancing and then you gotta, that's just where my mind went. I'm sorry. Pete, chat.
Oh, you good, man. You good.
But that's just what happened in my mind. That's just where it went. Like, you know what I mean? Some Wu-Tang Clan comes on. You just battle your people. So there you go, Steven. You can take that and you can run with it. You can use, you know, but he travels with his DJ stuff on his back. And then when the enemy comes, he flips his stuff around and he's like,
oh yeah. At some point we need to come out as like the main help to the good guy or something. And we're just like, walking out in like robot suits and shit.
And then like Ty interrogates them while he waxes poetic and gets inside their mind and breaks them down through interrogation.
Oh, yeah, I'll be inside their mind, and then our senior chief's going to be the interrogator.
Matt comes in, is like, "Hey, buddy, so what are you guys doing over here? You guys just chilling?
Know this boat? It belongs to me now."
I love it too. Cool. You know,
I'm sorry, man. I just sometimes my mind just goes there.
And those kind of things are great, and that's what I'm all about, because when I formulated this comic, I didn't just want to make another superhero comic or another, like high fantasy or something like that. If you want that, there's a million Superman comics you can go find. If you want to read Spider-Man, it's out there.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I need to take all this lived experience, all this things that are going on, any sort of pain, emotions, any sort of struggle, and I need to take this and I want to tell these stories that are relatable to normal people, and I want to use that comic book medium to tell those stories. So that's why my first main series issue in Tales of Nihilism, we call it the Ballad of Phillip Kirschner, and it's about a normal dude, and he lives in a world with superheroes and villains, but it shows you just how awful and like what a struggle it would be to survive as a normal person in those worlds.
Yeah.
Like, you're trying to go to work and the freeway's shut down because they're having a super battle, on the freeway. Yeah. Then you're late to work. Then you lose your job. Then you come home. Then the water's shut off. Like
it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. So were you always artistic? In the beginning, like growing up, you knew that's what you were. Like you knew that you had the ability to create images from your mind to paper very well. Like some people just got that. They can just draw things, and some people can't.
Yeah, and I mean that's not to discount the 100,000 hours I put into this. Even from a small kid. I think I want to say I was in like 3rd or 4th grade, and I checked out the Stan Lee's How to Draw a Superhero or How to Draw a Comic Book, and I took that whole book and I just practiced the whole thing. Going through there, doing all the different little. What do you call them? Like little training things that they got in there. Right. I was going through until I could draw it exactly like it was in the book. Wow. And, as a kid, you don't really have that depth of mind to create those kind of stories. But that practice was so integral that when I stepped back into it, it was like riding a bike. It was like, oh, okay, wow. I can draw like this again. I can do these. I remember, my hand remembers how to do this. And then I was like, oh man, I got to figure out a way to publish this. And I was still working with a writer, and we found Global Comics Online where you can publish it digitally. And then I had to learn how to do digital stuff, so I had to start all over.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, like if it's on digital, because you're talking about drawing. Mm-hmm. Now, are you able, do you find with the technology now, it's almost where you could still draw it digitally the way you did before, but now it's not like you don't have to color in the lines. You just poke in the lines, right, to make it what it needs to be. But I'm sure the process would be the same. But what do you prefer? Would you rather it be on paper, or would you rather do the digital medium with all the advancement they have now?
As far as my preference, I still prefer traditional. I've always loved traditional art. I still paint, physical paintings and all that with oil on canvas and going that way. It's just, that it's the way the world is. If you want to speak to people, if you want to get your things out, you got to work within that digital medium. Yeah. And, it's fun, but we still, we print physical editions and go to conventions as well. So that's real fun to have that book in your hand and then get to interface with fans and get new fans as well.
That's awesome.
Wow. Damn, man, that's dope, bro.
Yeah, so, the digital learning curve was huge. I started this probably, I want to say 2021, and it took at least until 2022 to really nail it down. And even then I had to go back and redraw a whole bunch of things and figure all that kind of stuff out. Because you're sitting there with a computer and you're like, oh man, I know I want to do this and I know how to do this on a piece of paper, but how do I do it on this computer?
Yeah. Damn.
That's crazy. But now you got a whole bunch of kids in the world that are like, you want me to draw it on paper? No, I got the computer right here. I'll just do it real quick.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, man,
and I'm punishing myself, man. I'm left-handed, so when you start drawing everything like that, the whole hand is all that graphite and lead.
Yeah. I've been there. I had to learn. I'm left-handed, so when I was in the Navy, you got to do all that block writing, right? And then you would get up in boot camp to write on the thing, and you would write the chalkboard and then smear it. And they're like, what are you doing? So I had to learn how to write my arm. I write underneath the words like you would write if it's going across, so I don't smear anymore. Yeah. But it took a long time to figure it out, and that's probably why now you can't read when I'm writing, because it's I tell her I'm left-handed. They're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I tell people I'm left-handed that people know I can't write or draw or anything.
Yeah, I'm left-handed. They're like, oh, okay. Well,
you're
let
left-handed.
me write that for you.
Matt, you're left-handed too.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's okay. You can maybe
Even you're left-handed
one day.
Absolutely.
Damn, you guys are all cool, bro.
That was the saying they told us. We heard from the Iraqis in Iraq. It was like every good boy knows the devil's left-handed.
That's crazy.
Oh. Well, I don't know if I want to be left. Well, whatever.
I'm the only one.
So I will tell you, I deployed 7 times, Stephen. I don't know if I told you that before, but so Afghanistan 3 times, Iraq a couple times, Kosovo, Africa a couple times, to a couple different places. And so my mind can go to some pretty dark spaces. Now, luckily, I've been through a lot of therapy and I know how to cope with these things. Mm-hmm. But like the greatest part of this podcast is that the 4 of us that are normally on the show, me, Al, Matt, and Scott, we are like a huge spectrum of personalities that I dig, like that I want to be. Like I love things from Matt. I love things from Al. I love things from Scott. But being able to relate and see this weird shit that I like to look at too, it's not your normal Spider-Man. It's not Superman, because like you said, we've been there and we've done that. We don't want to elicit that emotion. What we want is some dark humor, kind of like what we did when we were in the military. Yep. And that's at least with the first couple of ones. And as you can see, I hope I didn't take too many liberties by adding the sound effects and the creepy music.
Funny. That was great.
Just for me, I mean, a lot of your art to me and how I look at your art is metaphoric, because when I look at that, you could think that B is so many different things. It's the latest trend of what are we going to be whining about today. It could be all kinds of things. And then all of a sudden that person that it gets jumped on just thinks, oh, my day's great. I'm having a picnic. Here's this bee comes and it's some issue. It explodes. And then everybody, the background noise to me was what the media does, what the society does. So that's how your art speaks to me. So I did that out of like a tribute to you, because I really dig the comic.
So good, man.
Okay, cool. I know how artists are about their stuff. I was hoping with the conversation we had that I wouldn't upset you, but I'm glad you like it.
No. And I'm very pro, like, when you put something out in the world, that becomes like everybody's,
remixable.
So, and that's all of ours. It's shareable. You're telling these stories, you're doing these things, and it means something to somebody else, and somebody else has a different point of view, and that's amazing. It's awesome.
So that's cool, man.
Doing art, and now that you're back doing the stuff, did it help get you out of maybe some of the dark times or dark things that you've seen or dealt with while you were serving? Is it therapeutic in that way, or were you going to do it regardless?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think I would have found myself here anyways, just trying to, like I said, reconnect with that old bit of me that I'd left down, I'd walked away from so long ago. But there's always a bit of catharsis in there, and there's always a bit like a kernel of lived truth to everything. I'm telling these stories through Phil, but when I first got out of the military, I got out in the worst time. I got out in 2008, right when the housing crisis happened. Geez. Then I'm moving to Houston. We get hit with Rita. It was like my apartment got destroyed. My job got flooded. I had just started college, so I couldn't even draw my Montgomery GI Bill, right? Damn. Yeah, because you had to check in back then with every semester, tell them your semester hours and all that stuff. So yeah, like I've been down there in those points, and then I'm like, well, man, what if I take these feelings? What if I take these experiences and I turn them into a story? And then I think those experiences allow me to hone in and tell that more realistic and more better for people. They see it and they're just like, holy shit, I've been there. I know what this is like.
Yeah. No, I think it's cool because like you said earlier, and there's Marvel, there's all those different things where you have those heroes, right? And those heroes are unattainable because like no one's gonna like wake up tomorrow and fly, right? Like it's just not there. But when you read a comic like you have, and people read that, it really celebrates the hero for what we say the hero is, right? Like we say that our military and our first responders, these guys are heroes. They're doing all these things that the normal person's not going to run to do. You hear a bang and we run to it. Everybody's like, what are they doing? Like, something bad can happen. We got to go figure it out. It's now when you read that, like, you get to see how they run to that. And it's like, it's celebrating what you were celebrating doing when you were there. But now people get to read it and celebrate with you. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of like the way that I look at it, because we want to say all the time, we celebrate the heroes that keep us free. And now you get to read it and see it, and now it becomes a way too for kids to interact with it, right? Because it's cartoon, it's drawn, and they can jump in. And I think it's just important that that's being done, and like people can see that. I love it. It's great.
Yeah,
for sure. Hey, Nadine, I see Nadine Martin is in the building.
Yeah, future guest.
Yeah. What's going on? Hey, she was recently in the hospital. I called and checked on her the other day. She's doing better, and I'm glad that she's here watching the podcast. So shout out to
sister. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you have so how long have you been publishing the comic books? And then, like, people can buy them, they can go see them. Like, where do you go out, and are you still in Texas? Do you live somewhere else? Like, where can people connect with you?
Well, he's in my house, man. You see the back. He's in downstairs.
Well, he did say he moved back to Houston, and you live in Cyprus, and that does look like a Cyprus background. So I'm connecting the dots for everybody else.
Okay.
I've moved on. I've moved on since then. I'm hanging out in New York and Staten Island, and but with our comic Tales of Nihilism, you can go on Global Comics, and Global Comics is becoming like the A game on webcomics nowadays. Amazon and all those other guys, they can't compete with what's available and what you can do on Global Comics. So, and they have so many different ways to, like monetize and interact with your fans. If you want to do a paid subscription and just, use your points to unlock comics, you can do it that way. You can purchase PDFs for specific artists. You can donate to the artists. And then we have links too that you can click on there and get print on demand as well if you just want to hold a comic in your hand. And then we're appearing at Plastic City Comic Con in July, and then we're going out to we got sponsored to go to Veteran Comic Con out in San Francisco in November on Veteran Day weekend.
Nice.
There you go.
There you go. So if you guys want to go meet him, there he is. Veterans Day, Veteran Comic Con. Go dress up as your favorite character.
And is that the at Ease Veteran Magazine?
Oh no, that's something I do kind of like pro bono. Christine Walker, she's got this at Ease Veteran Magazine, and she's created this space for veterans to just submit and publish their stories and just any sort of art or anything that they want, and it's kind of a nice space that she's created where we can kind of like capture a lot of these cultural things about the military that are kind of either being lost out because you got Vietnam generations kind of like dying off right now, and even older, a lot of those stories are kind of like slipping out of our grasp. So it's there and available. And I've taken to that, and I said, hey, there's this kind of like period of time in the military where we were running around savage and having dirty cadences and doing all this crazy stuff. And I was like, what if I illustrated these cadences and put them in the magazine? So I illustrate sequential pages in there under the pen name Salty Skipper.
There you go, man. That's amazing. Man.
For sure.
Yeah, man. I appreciate your perspective.
Heck yeah. You just got to be open, and I've always been that way. I went to Korea. There'd be guys that they just want to stay on the base. They just want to drink at the bowling alley or do this. And I was like, nah, man, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna do this. Everybody, when they got their time to go home, their block leave or whatever, they're like, oh, I'm gonna fly back to the States and I'm gonna waste all this money on a plane ticket and everything. I took my block leave in Korea, and I got my nice little pass that you get, and you can actually stay overnight. Got to throw it in these faces and say, no, I'm on leave.
I wonder. So we really didn't touch on it, but is there money in that? Like, is it lucrative to do this line of stuff?
Oh, as far as the indie comics, no, it's a
Yeah.
struggle, man. You're not a
Oh.
starving, you're a starving artist for a reason, but
Yeah.
it's all about what you can garner and what you can, like throw out there. And it's one of the things that I've started to realize in this business is that, the business in comics isn't actually drawing the comics and selling them. It's everything else that comes with it. Even the big dogs, Marvel and DC, often they operate in the red on their budgets with the comics. Where they make the money is the merchandising, the intellectual property rights, and stuff like that. So what I do to offset is we offer advertising space in the comics for small businesses.
Mhm.
And that way we can go to these conventions, we can print these comics out, and then we can feature your small business there at the convention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now that works.
So hopefully you stay around for a little bit after we're done, because I would like to ask you some questions about that. That's very interesting.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, I've already told him I'm probably going to get a podcast one for the comic book thing.
Yeah, I think that's good. So I mean, that's a testament there, So like, for you, it's one of those things. Like my wife also paints and she's an artist and she does very well.
Mm-hmm.
And one time I told her, I said, "Why are you not doing this every day?" And she straight was like, "Have you ever heard the term starving artist? There's a reason they call it that. I'm just telling you."
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. And I'm like, because it's me. I'm like, yeah, but you could do it and make $1 million. Like, your stuff's awesome. And she's like, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Most artists don't make any money until after they're dead. That's just
Wow.
the way it is. A lot of the great.
What's the benefit of that, man? Who gets that?
To
me, there's the benefit of the soul, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I make a dime on this thing. It doesn't matter, if I do or don't. I'm still going to keep making this creation and doing this because it makes me feel good, and I get to share this story with as many people as possible. And to me, that's what you gotta. It's a labor of love, and if you're not willing to put in and show up and do the work and do that, then maybe it's not for you. But for me, it doesn't matter if I'm making money or not making money. I'm still going to draw the comic.
Yeah. That's how I feel about this podcast.
Yep, it lives on forever too, right? Because it's published, it's there, people can see it, and even years from now, people will pick it up and read it, and so that's where it comes. And that's cool. That was a good question, Blake, because I was, in my mind, I'm thinking comic book artist, and of the comics, right?
Yeah.
So you're just thinking like, oh, that because they look great. Like I'm like, oh, that's good, and you're like, nah, not really.
Yeah, doing it because I love it.
Them small businesses need to hit that link.
Heck yeah.
Damn.
So I did see Ty tried to bring us into it, and I mean, you write a superhero comic, right? Basically.
Well, if anything, it's an anti-superhero book, but
it still gets pretty hot in there, though, right? They got to go through some tough situations. So we're just at that point of the show now, where we get to put you through that hot seat, and you get to answer all those questions.
All right,
I'm excited to see this one.
Let me turn you to my costume. There you go. Switch me up a little bit. All right, there we go. I don't even know if I have my sound on. Let me see. Is it this one? That's the right one. That's the right one. That's the right one. All right, my man Steven, we're in the building.
Here we go.
We're officially about to be in the hot seat, my man. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Just ask that you be honest. Just tell us what you feel, man. This is all about you. There's no right or wrong. This is totally up to how you feel about whatever it is I'm going to ask you. But I'm going to ask you some things. We're going to jump right into it, all right? Here we go, Steven. What age were you when you first lost your virginity, my brother?
17.
17. You waited a long time.
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
Oh, totally.
All right, my man. My man. All right. In your opinion, Steven, what is the best fast food restaurant of all time?
Oh, man. Shoot. I'm going to say, what is it? Bubba Coo's Burritos?
Bubba? Say that one more time.
I think it's Bubba Coo's. Bubba Coo's Burritos.
Okay, what kind of burritos they got there?
They got everything. Anything you want to put on there.
Damn. Okay. You're a fan of a nice, big, like, are you a fan of like the big Chipotle burrito, or you like a nice, neat?
No, I like the big one and to put as much spice in there as possible.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotta have the spice.
Yeah.
Spice is nice with the spice.
Heck yeah.
All right. You mentioned earlier that you were a Cowboys fan, not by choice, but kind of like hereditary through the family.
Yes.
Who is your favorite Cowboy player of all time?
Oh, Emmitt Smith. Totally. That
Why?
dude's an inspiration. He's a total inspiration. Making it so long in the NFL and then breaking the records at the end of his career and just keeping on driving. Total inspiration.
Yeah, when you say Cowboys, Emmitt Smith for me comes first to mind.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, if the Cowboys are your favorite team, who is your second favorite team and why?
That's the Green Bay Packers. And that's because I grew up in Mississippi and, Brett Favre with that kind of thing. It was just locally what you did. Green Bay.
Gotcha. Okay, so if it's not the Cowboys, it's Green Bay. I got you. Okay. All right, here we go. If you can promise yourself one thing today to improve upon, what would it be and why?
Probably have to say improve on, like letting go. We hold on to so many things in the military, and there's so many things that you have to, you strive for that perfection. There's that term we would always use that you always have to improve your foxhole. And sometimes that kind of mentality can be your own enemy.
Like how you put that there. Okay. So, who, if anybody, was there with you through your toughest time? Through the toughest time you had, who was there with you to go through your toughest time that you had? And what would you say to them now?
It'd be my best friend who I deployed with, Davis. And, if I could say anything to him now, if we were here, I'd have to be like, man, I'm so proud of what you've done. Because, he stayed in the military, did the full 20, making it as far as he did. And I'm just like, hey, man, you went for the gold and you made it.
There you go. Shouts out to my man Davis. You made it, brother. And Steven is proud of you. All right, here we go. Steven, where were you on your worst day? If you can remember that. And how did you get through it?
I would have to say, where was I on my worst day? My worst day was surprisingly probably in Italy. I had finally kind of let the demons catch up to me, and I was so far down and didn't know how to reach out. And I just had a squad leader at the time. He made an off-color comment at me, and he joking, saying something about like, hey man, I think it was something like he might go crazy and like hurt somebody or something like that. And I was like, man, I'd take myself out long before I'd take you out. And he looked at me and he just saw it, and he was like, man, you've got like battle fatigue, PTSD all over you, and what are you doing about it? And just that like wake up call that, hey, I need to address this and actually start like, talking to somebody. That was a huge impact.
Wow. That's what I'm talking about, my man. Appreciate you sharing that with us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Steven, where is your safe space? Where do you feel the most safe?
I'd have to say the place that I feel the most safe is, funny enough, up on stage. If I'm doing like karaoke or, I'm joking around, playing pool amongst people and having those kind of conversations and in that extroverted style, that's when I feel the most safe because, you got that interaction with people, and I hope I never lose that.
I love it, brother. I hope you don't lose it either. You got to keep that going.
Yeah.
This one's for me. I like to find out if my friends on the podcast are lovers or fighters. So I ask you this question. My man Steven, would you rather run up a hill to kick some ass or run down a hill to get some ass?
Ooh, I think I'd rather run up the hill, man. Kick
You
some
rather
ass.
run? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Hey,
Absolutely, come catch that fight, man.
there you go. I like, you know what? I like guys like you, man. If you ever have to run up that hill, you call me. I'll run up there with you, man. We'll go kick some ass together. How about that?
Absolutely.
My man. All right. Now, this one is for the people. I know that my man Matt and my man Ty is looking for it. But I gotta ask you because you're my friend. In your opinion, who's better? Michael Jackson or Prince?
Whew. For me, it's Prince. It's Prince. I sing all along the Little Red Corvette and all that, man.
All right, I got it, man. Oh, goodness. Well, you officially have survived the hot seat, my brother. I appreciate it. It was good, man. I hope those questions was good for you, man. I hope you enjoyed it. But I got to ask you one thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you can rate our podcast from 1 to 10, what would you rate us and why?
Oh, man, this one's been a 10. This has been fun. I've enjoyed this. Most of these are real, interview style or, question here, question there. But we really got in here, had some fun, talking back and forth and all that. It was great.
I love it, man.
Especially that hot seat. That was fun.
My favorite part of the hot seat is when someone gives an answer that Scott doesn't like. He gets closer and closer and closer to when they give the answer being motherfucker. Like it's coming like in the next 2 or 3 episodes.
Right.
Because he always goes, and then he stops. I'm like, he's just gonna start saying it, dude.
That's
you know what sucks about the whole Prince thing too is oh my god, I love Prince. But me and my wife, we were at our last duty station in Fort Bliss, and we're driving out there on I-10, and we're just rocking to a whole Prince album, just like singing along to it and everything. And then finally, we turned off, the iPhone or whatever, go to the radio, and then boom, come on there. It's today Prince has died, and I'm like, are you shitting me?
Yeah, that was tough, man. I'm gonna tell you, man. I remember where I was when both of those, Michael Jackson and Prince. I say that question a lot because both of them, I admire both of them so much. But I just as a kid growing up, it was just Michael Jackson was like, it was like Michael Jackson was like a superhero, man. Like literally, like when you're a little kid and you watch a Michael Jackson concert and you like literally see people like just losing their mind. Passing out, you got to pour water on him. And he hasn't even said a word yet. Just because they're in the room, they're like, Michael. People crying. They're like, oh my god! And people trying to do the moonwalk, and they got their gloves on, and they're, man, like this is crazy. That's what it was.
I think it's just that Prince energy, like you showed the Dave Chappelle thing. So great.
Yeah, Ty's on it, man. He's on it all the time. He don't miss.
I look for those answers because I want to know those. But I remember I was visiting Houston when Michael Jackson died, so I was watching the funeral at my ex-wife's house. Like I was visiting the kids, so we didn't live here yet, so I think we were in Las Cruces, New Mexico, or something. But, I remember where I was when Prince when they found him in the elevator too.
Yeah,
that's just crazy.
Crazy story about Prince, man. The first time I was in a ceremonial garden, I had got in trouble, man. So I went to the brig. I had got 15 days. So we used to have to take the little paddy wagon van, and you get in the back of the van to go eat. So the guy would turn the radio on, and it was Pop Life because Prince was in Washington D.C. doing a concert while I was in the brig, and they were like, it was a big old thing because Prince was there, so they were playing Prince all over the radio. And I'm in the back of the dang paddy wagon, got the handcuffs on me. I'm in the back of the van, and they're playing that Pop Life song. And I really had to look at my life, like Pop Life. What's the matter with you? I'm sitting there thinking like, man, so I never really connected with that song until then. So even till now, that's like one of my favorite Prince songs, that Pop Life thing. It automatically takes me back to that time. So
life, it ain't that funky unless it's got that
got that pop.
Yep.
What you putting in your nose? Is that where all your money
with your Oh, good Lord. We done went off the rails with this one.
Yeah, we have.
Hey, Steven, I appreciate you so much, brother. I appreciate you hearing your story. Every time I talk to you, I learn more about you. So I didn't realize you were a Prince guy, but so that's cool. Yeah. So we'll definitely keep in touch, and then we're gonna let you go for now. But I would definitely want you to. I'll get you Matt's information offline.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
for sure.
Steven, you be safe in all your travels, brother. God bless you. Thank you for coming on our show, man, and blessing us with your story and your talent and your time. We really appreciate you, man. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us, man. And for that, we really do appreciate
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. Thank you for giving me the space to share my story, man.
Absolutely. Before you jump, though, is there anybody that you want to say hi to, recognize? Is there anything that you want to let everybody know that is coming up for your recent that they can help support you on, or anything that you want to just share with anybody?
Social medias, how can we find you, all that good stuff?
Yeah, same deal. Global Comics. Check out Tales of Nihilism. We're going to be going to Plastic City Comic Con. I can't remember the exact date, but it's in July in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, near Boston. And then the big premiere at the end of the year is we're going to Veteran Comic Con out in San Francisco. So, I mean, that's a comic convention for veterans by veteran entertainers and artists and all that. So if you're a veteran in the San Francisco area, come by and support anybody who's there.
There you go. Nice. Love it, man.
Thank you. We appreciate your time, man. It was great to get to know you, and I'm hoping that we get to see you soon. And who knows, maybe we'll see that the DJ Royalty.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The combat. What is it? The combat DJ. There you go.
Combat DJ.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Absolutely.
All right, brother.
All right. Take it easy.
Did you see what Morgan said about him just now before he got off?
Oh, no. What'd he say?
Morgan casted Steven's a better looking Jack Black. I wonder if his TikTok game is as good as Jack Black's, though. That TikTok game is good, dude.
Yeah, Jack Black is hilarious, man.
Yeah, he's good.
That damn School of Rock, bro. I watched that thing and I died laughing at that, man.
Read between the lines, Theo. Read between the lines. So
oh man, that was cool, man.
Yeah, very good.
You never know, man. You come on this podcast, you think you know what you know, you think you have an assumption of what you might know, and you get here and you find out you didn't know jack. People are cool no matter where they are, where they come from. You can find the coolness in everybody if you just take the time to talk to them.
Absolutely.
Everybody has something with them, man. Everybody has their own special reason for being here. That's what makes us Americans and makes us who we are. Even though some of us may look the same, you can have a twin, but you put two twins in a room and have two separate conversations with them, and they're two different people. No two people are the same, but everybody's awesome in their own right.
Yeah, I always loved, like, my wife and I went to high school together, and she was a Fletcherette, so she was always in the band. So I have a full spectrum of like band people, jocks. Like one of my better friends that we still talk about sports today was like the valedictorian and went on to Ivy League and everything. So I love getting different perspective. That's like soup for the soul for me, is to get somebody new perspective about veteran shit specifically, and then what they did when they deployed, and hearing their perspective about that, and then how they kind of turned it back around to what they did before, or maybe they developed some kind of new passion. I love that shit, man.
Yeah. I saw Byron. It looked like I see Byron Roof. What's going on, brother? I see you here.
Yep. Chris Johnson's in the building. The worst looking half of the boys from the Johnson clan.
Hey, what's going on?
He does play a good whistle, though. I am going to tell you that.
What's up, Candy Baines, best promoter in the CBA?
Kidding, Chris.
Candy.
Ow.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I thought Al would pop in, but maybe things changed up. We still love you, brother. Yeah. With that said, I think next week, guys, I'm gonna be out, man. I'm gonna try this.
Listen,
if there's a way, I'm gonna make it happen, brother. If there's a way.
But you don't just go out because you're like, oh, I got some stuff to do. Like, you go out like to go out.
Yeah, like I gotta go to San Francisco, do some cool stuff. I won't tell you the secret. I'll tell you when I come back, because
we'll see all the pictures.
I've heard it a couple times, and every time I hear it, it gives me goosebumps. So
I'm gonna send you some business cards. I need you to pass these out. I need you,
Send me. Give me something if you want me to put some signatures on it, man, or whatever. Send it to me so I can put it. I'm like, hey, this.
Hey, listen. When we get off, though, there is one thing that I'll see if you might be able to do, and if you could pull that off, I'm telling you right now, somebody that watches our show is going to lose it.
Okay, for sure. Bam! Just let me know what I can do. Let me know how I can help. Let me know how I can help.
So let's get to some of these things so we can bounce up on out of here. So,
all right.
Sports pick 'em. So I know we don't have any games to pick, but we're going to try and do something here. So the podcast has come across a group called Operation Warrior Wishes. So the podcast has some season tickets, and so we're going to give away these tickets to the first person that answers a trivia question here in a second. But
Okay.
we're going to be introducing you to a group called Operation Warrior Wishes, who, if you can see here on the right there, my buddy Jody, he says, just a heads up, the veteran that went tonight was able to take his wife to the game, and she hasn't even been since high school. They were also able to take their young child for the first time, and we got them a first game certificate for the baby. The family was beyond ecstatic. Thanks again for donating them. So our podcast donated to Operation Warrior Wishes, and Warrior Wishes gave it to some veteran family here in the Houston area that, their wish was to go to a Houston Astros game. So we gave them some tickets.
What a game to go to, though. The Guardians and the Astros.
Right.
Well, this was a game from last week where this text is from, but
that's what I'm saying. Warrior Wishes. They played the Guardians. It's just the whole semblance.
Right. So what I want to do is I'm going to ask a trivia question, and the first person to get it right, either in the comments or in one of the social media posts, I want to know how many home runs Dale Murphy hit for the Atlanta Braves in 1987.
Dale Murphy.
In one game?
No, for the season.
Oh, for the season. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a hint.
If you're
Single digits.
No, it's not. 1987. How many home runs did Dale Murphy hit for the Atlanta Braves?
Dale.
All
right.
So the first person to put the answer.
32. I see 32 right off the top.
No, that's not correct.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Well,
your Google didn't work good, and it wasn't that fast.
I see a 5.
That's not right.
Not
either.
his number, bro. Like, how many home runs is it?
He was number 3.
I know.
Yeah. Well, I guess.
Look at Becky. 44.
There you go. Becky Nagel Johnson wins. 44. That is correct. Yeah. So I'm going to introduce you to one of our future guests, Operation Warrior Wishes, and Jody Revels. I'm going to introduce you to them so they can introduce you to the Operation Warrior Wishes, and you can go to the Thursday, May 2nd game. Becky Johnson.
Bam.
Good job.
So that's that good.
Unfortunately, Becky and I are going to have to help Warrior Wishes donate that to somebody they know, because I'm going to be on my way to Indiana that day, bro. And that's a podcast day, buddy.
Indiana.
We got to go watch a doctor get capped, gowned, and given a diploma so they can go fix all of our brain issues. You know what I mean?
That's good stuff, man. That's good to see.
Well, yeah. The next person in the Houston area,
I do want to meet him.
And types the right answer.
maybe we'll do a giveaway on him, dude.
Oh, for sure.
Another giveaway. We'll do a spin, and we'll make sure that it's somebody that follows the Operation Warrior Wishes, and we'll make sure somebody goes to the game. We'll set them up right, and we'll get them taken care of.
Gotcha.
Hey, I wanted to give a movie request real fast. I don't ever to do that, but I'm not really a series type of guy. But so my cousin Grunt, he was both Marine and Army. Shout out to my little cuzzo. He had me to watch The Fall of the House of Usher. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it is a good watch. Now, I won't tell you anything about it. I would just say, watch it, and see if you can get to the end of it so that you can get a full understanding.
What's that on?
It trips you out. It's on Netflix, but it's called The Fall of the House of Usher. And I will tell you, if somebody has seen it, they'll probably tell you it is pretty cool. But I was pretty shocked on. I was pretty shocked on if I was going to like it or not. But it was there's some crazy stuff, man. So that's my request for today. That's all I'm gonna give you. What is it? Yeah, we tried to get into it. Yeah, boy.
There you go. Hopefully you can get into it.
You got to get into it, man. Like, yeah, you just gotta get into it and get into it. Yeah, that's my suggestion.
So if you guys don't mind, I want to take a couple minutes before we get out of here. I want to just talk about a couple of things. We have a couple of events coming up that we're going to be a part of. One is Vet Fest. It's going to be in May. It's going to be down in Houston. We have the link up to our Facebook page. So if you're in Houston, you want to support some veteran-owned businesses and support a nonprofit that helps veterans do music, go check it out. Come out. We'd love to meet and see you. And then we also are still running through and working through our Headstone for Heroes program with Got Your Six.
Yeah.
We had a pretty good first week of that. So anybody that's been out there that is watching us, or anybody that follows us, anybody that's purchased a shirt to help us get money to the American Legion to get headstones for our heroes, we really appreciate you. And all we ask is that you share that information with somebody else and see if that they can help support that cause as well. Anything we can do to give our veterans that, everlasting respect that they deserve by having that service on their headstone so that people can see and remember everybody that, gave that time and that sacrifice to keep us free. We want to make sure we do it. So just share it, go out there. We have a whole page dedicated on our website. Both of the shirts are up there. Again, it's $10. Buy a $10 shirt, $2.50 to ship it to you. And then we give 100% of that $10 to the American Legion. So I just wanted to bring that out so that you guys could support us there. And then if you're in the Houston area and you're bored on Saturday night, we got our second meeting for Warriors and Whiskey. So that's all you need to know. There's going to be whiskey there. So come out, hang out 6 to 8 at Permissions down in Houston, and then they don't close until really late. So if you like to hang out, we'll be there probably till closing, because I imagine a lot of people stay and hang out. So
there you go.
Thank you for giving me the 5 minutes. I just wanted to, really thank everybody that supported us so far, and just encourage everybody to go out there and support Headstones for Heroes. Buy other shirts if you want to, but that's one that we're really trying to push right now.
My man. There you go. I like how you did that, man. You so cool and calm, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't argue with a guy like you. Like, hey, why are we arguing anyway, buddy? I think this shit is cool. I don't know why you want to argue with me for.
Next week's guest is Marcus McClinton, active duty U.S. Navy. Used to play at the University of Kentucky for football team, and was a New England Patriot for
won the Super Bowl.
So there you go, Super Bowl champion.
I wonder if he's going to show us the ring.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I hope I can pop in, man. I'm
listen.
stressed out on that.
If that guy makes chief in the Navy and they knock coins in the bar and he busts out a Super Bowl ring, does he still have the highest ranked coin in the room? Because it's a Patriots coin. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, who's going to trump him? You know what I mean? Anybody that could invite, like, Tom Brady to come hang out, I think they're going to win, dude. You know what I mean?
But it has to be true. He has to be tried and tested.
You want to go over some of these future guests real quick?
Yeah, let's do it. So this is Chris Fahey. He's out on works with the PTSD Foundation of America. He does a lot of their journalism stuff now. If you guys follow him or you follow PTSD Foundation of America, he's out. I mean, he is all over promoting the program.
Yeah.
Like I said, we got to visit it. This week, we got to see what they're all about and just hearing their story, and then knowing that everybody that kind of volunteers and works there has their own specific story. It's kind of like what we do here, but in a much different setting, right, where they're helping them get back into it. Where we hear people's stories, they help people through those stories. And so, go out, take a look at them. They always are in need of help. If you can help or just volunteer, do something. Like, it's good for the veterans to see that people are out there supporting him. So I can't wait to talk to him. He's got his own unique story that he's going to tell as well.
Yeah, I know him very well.
Yep, for sure.
And then this is the group I was just talking about. We got Matt Shishin coming on with Jody Revels. They'll be representing the Operation Warrior Wishes. So we'll be talking about a lot of the stuff that I want to do with them in the future. And then let's see, 1 August, we got Scott Fisher, who is the local Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association commander of Chapter 2329 here in Houston, Texas. They don't claim any territory. I just put where we're from here. So I don't want that to cause any trouble in the biker community. My name's Tycho, Combat Vet Tycho. I didn't mean that as claiming territory. My bad, CVMA. Let me get that slide off there before I get in bad trouble. Biker community, man. You can't fuck around there.
No, you can't.
So, Matt, you want to wax poetic on this one? This is going to be pretty awesome.
Bree. So we got to meet Bree at the celebrity softball game. It's almost kind of like circa last year where we got to meet, Wesley and talk with him, and then we were able to bring him on. Same with Bree. She does a lot for veterans. She's also an artist. She sings. We have her locked in for the 15th of August right now. But just in talking with her out there, she was just very appreciative to be out there to help. And, we're going to, bring her on, let her talk about what she does and what she helps with veterans. So
I follow her on Instagram, bro. She's funny, man. She's funny. She's beautiful. She's talented. She's all that. She's a cool person in person. Breathe. That's all I can say. Yeah, I'm excited if you could tell.
Yeah, absolutely. I really enjoyed this show, man. Like, I mean, y'all know, I'll say it now. I didn't want to make Mr. Russell feel uncomfortable, but I have a nerdy as fuck side. Y'all know that about me. So, I mean, I was very much a jock, but I love that artistic. I love how much of an intellectual he is. That's the guy that we need to get to MC one of our parties. Like, he would be that extrovert. I like his conversation. So go ahead, bro.
Real quick, though. I'm a little disappointed in today's episode because while he was on here, somebody didn't read something in a different kind of way and manner they told me were. So I think we should do that right now. We should still do that. Put your ass up on the screen. Let's go.
Oh man! So
what happened? I missed it. It flew over my head.
So with Stephen Russell, so I've talked to him a couple times about what we're gonna talk about when he came on and kind of like how his story was gonna go. And so as I was talking to him, I realized that he had a theater background, and he told me that he likes to,
Thank you, David. It was appreciated seeing in there, man. Appreciate you.
So what I thought was funny, what I was going to do for him is I was going to read Shakespeare in my real country accent.
Oh, okay.
We could still do it. He doesn't have to be on here. Let's go. Right. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right. To be or not to be, that's the question. Whether 'tis nobler in mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing in them, to die, to sleep no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil. Please give us pause.
Okay. Okay. I got
out. Are you rehearsing? Are you going to like Broadway?
No. I printed this out today and I was going to read it for him.
I like the way he hid in the corner, like he was in the corner.
You can cut that reel. We'll tag him on social, and then
you
get it.
There you go.
This is just for you. We had to do it for you.
Yeah.
Out of context, though, that'll be like, "What the fuck is Ty doing?"
Not to him though. He'll get it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I just thought about it because I was like, man, you know what? He didn't do the thing. Buy that man. I've bought.
Makes it relatable with the country accent. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but I bought Ty Minion a late one.
Yeah. A couple times you've gone up through Kentucky, and I get a phone call. It's like, we call it on landlines.
Look, y'all, I've bought.
You want some L8 and some pickled bologna?
Hell yeah. L8 flavor.
Hell yeah.
Like, they have that flavor in L8. I want it.
Yeah. It's some of that shit I'd never tried because I'm a little bit old fashioned.
Sure.
No.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's all I got, man.
For sure. So it's a pleasure as always to be on here with you guys, man. I don't have much to say going out. I already kind of gave what we were going to do, but I appreciate you guys, and I'm glad we get to take the journey, and we'll be back next week. So it's out there. You got to come on back. Next week's going to be good. You guys need to come check that one out. Not only is the guy in the Navy, not only did he play football, but I heard he can sing his ass off too.
Oh yeah, we'll have a new lead into the show next week. So that'll be fun.
Okay.
Yeah. I showed a couple weeks ago. Were you on, Scott, when I showed a little tidbit of what we're going to open the show with?
No.
Him singing the national anthem?
Nope.
Oh, yeah. I got a video of him singing the national anthem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And where's he singing it at?
Oh, he's singing it in Commonwealth Stadium.
No, it's
Kroger. I'm sorry. Kroger Field. My bad.
The last time he did that, Julie was like, excuse me, it's Kroger Field.
Fort Hood, Fort Gordon. Yeah. Fort, I call them all the wrong names, man. I'm sorry.
Called it Fort Hood, though. He didn't say Fort Cavazos. Let's go.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right, y'all. Cool. This has been another episode of the Triple Threat Bet Podcast. I am your man, DJ Royalty. We had in the building today my man Todd Cobb, my man Matt Johnson, my man Steven. And we are officially done for tonight. We had a great time. You guys are here. You guys made it wonderful. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being part of the Triple Threat Bet family. We appreciate you. We want to see you back next week. Reach out to somebody that you haven't talked to in a while. Tell them that you love them. Love them while they're here, because one day they'll be gone. Take your time to appreciate all the things that you see in the day, all the moments that you have. There are special moments, whether you understand it or realize it or not. Every moment that you're here on this earth is a special moment. And you have the power and the control to make it great. You just got to wake up, give it your best shot, and move on about your day. Make your next day your best day. I'm DJ Royalty. I love you guys, man. I'm going to give it to my man TY and my man Matt so they can wax poetic one last time and give their shots out to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, again, just from us, Headstones for Heroes. Go check it out. There's new shirts on the website to look at. We got a lot of events coming up in Houston. Take a look at those. Come out. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to hang out with you, and we'd love to show you guys the same love you show us. So with that, we're out, man.
Yes, sir. TY, what you got, my brother?
I enjoy this kind of show. I like the artistic side of my personality, so I really like getting to know the guy. I actually read that comic. Check it out if you like that kind of stuff. If you don't, then that's just another tool trying to throw it at you. So appreciate it. Until next week, we'll see you.
There you go. This is for Steven. You know what I mean? We'll just fade it out with this. Don't know where I'm going, but I know where I've been. Y'all come back. Boom, 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 whichever side it is. Next week, we'll see you. Triple Threat Bet Podcast. We're out. I'm your man, DJ Royalty. Peace out, guys.